welcome to another Wednesday episode of the Outlaw Joseph Scotts. This is episode 34, which I have entitled A Plague Upon You. Joseph just finished an adventure in the swamps and now is returning to town. So let's see what happens to Joseph today.
Alright, here we are. Back in town. If you remember last time, Joseph went to try to discover a temple in the swamps, and he succeeded. It was not very far in, surprisingly. So even though he had to fight pretty much every single room, it did not take him very long to get there and find it. So we have to do some final, as usual, some final updates, clean up from the end of the last mission. First of all, we need to see what he receives. So he gets a D6 times $100 for succeeding. And he gets simply $100. That's not great, because Joseph needs money. He does have 3 corruption that he's going to need to get rid of. And he did use a whiskey and some bandages, so that is unfortunate. And then he gets to roll a d6 to see if he gains something else. 2, he gets a Jargano artifact. The unfortunate thing about him getting a Jargano artifact is that he cannot carry anything else. He picked up the tribal armor. He only had room to carry one thing. This carries weight, so he picked up the tribal armor, which he may have to sell. He, in fact, had to drop some dice in order to pick this up. So let's see what this Jargano artifact is. It is the statue of a serpent god, +1 lore. He's immune to poison, only worth 325, and it is a weight. So I think he's going to have to just discard that. Because obviously he said he really needs money. And then he will need to check for corruption. He has 8 Darkstone, but they are in his tomb chest. But he does have one outlaw pistol that has a grip on it. It does not cause a corruption hit, which is good. Joseph doesn't need another corruption. And that should be the end of adventure. Now he needs to travel. So let us see what happens. He does not have a travel hazard on his way to town. So he does have 2 grit though. So here we are in town. And Joseph has a total of 855 gold. Not a lot. He does have 8 Darkstone, which is enough for a Darkstone grip for his gunslingers or gunfighter's pistol. Unfortunately, it also costs $1,200, which Joseph cannot afford. He also has 3 corruption that he needs to get rid of. The challenge also being if he uses the Darkstone, he also can't get Darkstone bullets. I think what that means is, I think Joseph is going to, so this is obviously what we need to do. He needs to get rid of his corruption and pay for that. He needs to go to the blacksmith to at least get some Darkstone bullets. And he needs to go to the frontier outpost to rob the bank. He always has to rob the bank, besides the fact that he's desperately in need of money. To that end, if he sells the tribal armor for 550, that gives him about $1,400, which is just enough to get the Darkstone grip. But it is not enough for him to get a Darkstone grip and bullets. And probably don't want to hit the blacksmith 2 days in a row. So what I think he's going to do, he also needs to hit the doctor. So what I think he's going to do, day 1 he's going to go rob the bank. and that will get him hopefully enough money, and one of his successes he can use for Darkstone. That gets him a D3 Darkstone. So it'll net him at least the 1 Darkstone, which will give him 9 Darkstone and enough to purchase both, if he has enough money. If he doesn't, then I'll need to figure, if that doesn't work, it's going to come down to him being recognized and how much he has to spend. Obviously, how well he rolls for robbing the bank, and how much he's recognized to decide exactly what happens. So I think day 1, he's going to go rob the bank. Oh, and I forgot the marker for days. Rather than try to dig it out, we'll use that. There you go. So day 1. All right. So we're gonna go to the Frontier Outpost. Plan is to essentially hold up the Outpost Bank. I mean, my other option is don't worry about getting the Darkstone grip. I think I might be able to get it though, because I could sell some of the Darkstone. I'm just concerned. I've got 8 Darkstone, which 7 Darkstone if I just bought the grip, and then if I get more Darkstone, I may go over what's in the tomb chest, which is going to end up being a little dangerous for a number of reasons. There, you can already see I got 3 corruption hits. So let's see what happens at the Frontier Outpost. Day 1. 8. The banners yet wave. Recover 1 grit and fully heal. Alright, well he's not hurt, but he gets a 3rd grit, which will be useful for what he is about to do. Alright, so he's going to rob the bank, so it's an agility 5+ test. So 5 dice. Needing 5s and 6s, got plenty of grit to re-roll, which is good because I only get 1 success, and I need a lot more because I need a lot of money, and I need to get some Darkstone. 2 more, okay. All right, well that will work. That will work. So 1 for Darkstone. So let us see how many Darkstone I get. I only get 1 Darkstone, so that's going to be just enough Darkstone to get me by. And then, how much money? D6 times 50. So I need a big roll here, because I need at least 200, if not more. In fact, I need a lot more than that, because I also need to be able to afford paying if I get recognized tonight, and enough to get to the, oh, I sold that, and enough to remove as much corruption as I can. So I may end up not going to the doctor to remove corruption, but going to the church and trying to remove corruption. Especially since I have 3, I've got a good chance of at least removing some, and that will not be a good amount. Now the question is, can I spend a grit to re-roll that? I don't believe so. It's not like it's an ability test. It's not based on anything on the stats. So I guess I'm stuck with that. So that's exactly 200. 200. So that is not what I wanted to get. That is very, very unfortunate having that low of a roll. And I am over by 1, so I have enough for a grit. Let's see what happens at the end of the day. See if Joseph is recognized and how much he has to pay. Ooh, he has to pay 100. Which he will do. So he's right around 1,500 gold. He does get 20 more experience for that, though. And then, is there an event? There's not. Okay, so day 2. Let us see. The church. He goes to the church. How much does it cost to manage it? So it's going to cost him 100. Yeah, he can't. He's going to be $5 short. Yeah, and it's so expensive for him to stay in town. I don't think he can do both. I really don't. I don't think he can. I don't think he can afford to do both. Is there anything else he can sell? Is willing to sell? Authority, bandolier, belt buckle. I could sell the bandana for 50. Now that does assume that I'm not recognized, which would force me to leave. Oh, I do have the experiment canister. You know, I think I need to. I don't need the extra cunning, so I'm going to sell this experiment canister. Okay, so if sold in town, all right. So I get a D6 times 150. I really need that money. Another 2. That's 300. Boy, that's just rolling horribly for getting that extra money. Poor Joseph. All right, well, and then he has to roll to see what happens in town. 4 through 6, no effect. A 2. At the end of the current day, a random building is destroyed. All right, well, this is day 2, though, so it does let him go to the blacksmith for this day. And then at the blacksmith, he will, let's see what we get at the blacksmith. Yeah, now I get a high roll. That's actually not bad, though. All purchase prices are reduced by $50. All right, well that's good considering I'm expecting to buy 2 things. So the Darkstone grip for his gunfighter pistol. So that's going to be 8 Darkstone out of his tomb chest and 1150 off of his out of his stock, out of his cash. So he's down to, actually that extra 300 helped. I mean, it's 600. He's got 635 left, and of course the cost decrease helped a lot. So, and then he will also get a that was the Darkstone grip for his gunfighter's pistol. And then he will get Darkstone bullets, again, for 150, saving him some more money. He's at 485, which means he's in pretty good shape. Perfect. And that is it for day 2. Now let's see if he's recognized. 3. He's recognized 3 times. Well, that is 150. So he's in with 335. And then, is there a town event? There is a town event, so this could be bad. Let us see what the town event is. It is a 6. Spreading fear. One random location closes up shop and cannot be visited. And the hotel doubles their rate. All right. Well, let's see what. So we have basically 2 locations close, which are a 5 and a 4. and 5 is the church, and 4 is the frontier outpost. Alright, so I guess I'm not going to the church. Guess I'm going to the doctor's office. And the question will be, I've only got $335. So I can spend $300. And there we go. So I have $335. It will cost $300 to remove all the corruption. It's $100 per corruption point. I could only remove 2. And I am low on bandages and herbs and whiskey. Obviously, I can't pick up any whiskey there, but I could pick up some more bandages. The other option is, well, I think regardless I need to get rid of some of that corruption. Oops, I should mention I used up this one Darkstone. So Joseph's now completely out of Darkstone. And he will be pretty close to, this is obviously going to be our last day. I've only got $300. Need to spend as much as I can. And now it's going to cost me $20 to stay at the hotel for one more day, which I think I'm going to have to do. So it's a new day. So $315. And we're going to go to the doctor's office. It's not much choice. The church is closed, so I can't try to remove the corruption at the church. So let's see what happens at the doctor's office. Potentially he could give us something useful. Well, not really. He doesn't need surgery, and treating corruption doesn't count as surgery. A 3. Plague tent. Make a luck 5+ test. If I fail, I contract the plague, gain D3 corruption points with no willpower saves. And he's reduced to max grit 1 during the next adventure. Jeez, ouch. His luck's 4 though, so that's not too horrible. And he has some grit, so 5+ test, he succeeds. Woof, that would have been nasty. Plague tent. He's filled with the plague. There's a demonic plague there. Alright. Oh. Alright. Joseph is going to, I think, I haven't used, there have been adventures where I've used the herbs and the bandages and the whiskey. But I do have the 2 revives, and I think it's more important to get rid of the corruption. So Joseph's going to go ahead, he's going to spend the $300 to remove all 3 points of corruption. Boom. So he's down to $15 in his pocket. He is dead broke. Now he needs to see if he takes any damage. He does. So he's going to take a D3. He takes 1. So he's going to start next adventure with just a single wound, which isn't too bad. And it's the end of the day. Joseph's not planning on sticking around. He's not going to plan to stick around. So even if you can see if he's recognized, but he's just going to leave town. He's recognized once, but he's just going to flee town. And we do need to see if there's a town event. Day 1, nope. All right. Well, that is it. That is it for Joseph today. He was moderately successful. It was close. Good thing I decided I was going to look through my equipment and see what I had. And I noticed I had that canister, and I sold it because that was the exact 300 that I needed to get rid of corruption at all. And I would rather not, it might be interesting to have Joseph mutate, but it could also be very detrimental if it's not a good mutation. So, we wouldn't want to lose a hand or anything like that, or give him a negative. I haven't even really looked at the mutation chart because I'm very leery of mutations and insanities. So Joseph has $15 to his name, no Darkstone, He was pretty bad. Apparently the bank here in this town had almost nothing in it. Joseph only got away with a very measly amount, $200 and one dark stone. And he was recognized numerous times. I tell you, that hurts the outlaw, especially as a solo character. Laying out that much money. You're rolling, I'm at 7th level, so I'm rolling 7 dice. And on 6 is $50 for every 6 I roll. Odds are you're going to roll on 7 dice, you're going to roll 2. So that's going to be $100 per stay that he's laying out. And basically you're with just one character, you're not getting a lot of loot cards, so you're not getting a lot of money. Robbing the bank is kind of obviously iffy. You can kind of see that. It's hard to get ahead with money. You kind of have to, hope you get some gear or a couple good loot cards during the adventure with things you can sell. But there we go. There's Joseph. He said he's broke, destitute, but he does have an upgraded gunfighter's pistol, so he's going to get 4 dice from that pistol and 4 dice on his outlaw pistol, plus his darkstone bullets. Should help a little bit. Well, just a little bit anyway. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.